Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here at 8 a.m., all your bright faces. Welcome to our didactic. It's Lights, Camera, Action, How to Publish Your First MedEd Video. I'm Liang Liu. And, and we're excited to kind of share our work with you guys. So we have no disclosures. We do use some proprietary software during this session, but we're not supporting anyone. There's a lot of equipment out there. There's even free software out there, so definitely take a look at all your options. Today we're going to start by talking a little bit about the benefits of why do this at all? Why are we here today? You're already motivated, right? You came in at 8 a.m., so you probably already want to know, but we'll talk a little bit about why you're here. Before you even start a video, you really have a little level of preparation that needs to be done, and so we'll talk about what needs to be done before you even think about recording. And then we'll break out into small groups and talk a little about storyboarding and the software so you can actually get a little bit of hands-on with the equipment. And we'll come back together and talk a little about what you guys learned and show you how to get your work up there.
Your MedEd videos don't have to be boring. They can actually be fun, and they've got a lot of advantages. You don't have to give the same lecture over and over and over when you post it on YouTube, and it's available 24/7. So it's a fantastic medium where you can tell either a medical student or a resident or even a colleague at another institution, here's our video, here's where to find it, move on, and then with a little bit of editing, you can look and sound like Einstein. You may not want to look like Einstein, but at least you can sound like Einstein. By getting rid of the pauses, you don't have problems with word finding. If you have a mispronunciation, it's easy to go in and edit it out and really clean up your video.
So before we start, there are 5 things that you should consider. First is your target audience. So while I stand up here, I can look at all of your faces, make eye contact, and see, oh, are you asleep? Oh, you're really into what I'm talking about, or are you just really confused, right? I can actually read the audience and tailor my talk to the audience. When you're recorded, you're talking to a screen, and unfortunately, we've had a lot of experience with this, right? How many people have given a grand round or a lecture to yourself? And there's somebody, hopefully, on the other side of Zoom, but who knows, right? And so because you're not able to read that target audience, it's really important to actually practice and test out your idea with various learners. So have people from different levels of training test out your ideas and really see, is this something that they will resonate with? Is this actually going to work in a MedEd video? Second is the setup. And so while you don't need a setup like this gives you kind of an idea of what you could do. If you're going to be on camera, then you want your face to be present. So you want to actually elevate your camera up to eye level, so you're actually making eye contact with your audience. Maybe there's not great lighting. I envy you if you have a great house with great lighting, but most people have kind of an off lighting that's going to really cast shadows on your face. So consider some sort of lighting to really place behind that camera so that you're really able to have perfect lighting for your show. If you turn around, maybe you have a really beautiful painting, but it's really distracting your background. Maybe your kids are running around in the back. So consider what's behind you when you're recording. That may mean that you need to put in a backdrop or something to really minimize the distractions to your audience. As far as recording itself, they're considered the planes that are flying overhead, the children running around next door in the playroom, the dogs barking in the background. You really want to minimize all those distractions. Just as if you took a photo and try to Photoshop it, if you take a good photo, you don't need much Photoshopping. But if you have a really crappy photo, you can do a lot of work and it'll probably look okay, but you're going to have to put a lot more work into it. Really getting your setting perfect means that you are minimizing how much editing you're doing in that time at the end. I know some people who do podcasts who actually literally have a closet and they just hide in their closet and record in their closet. It actually ends up being a pretty ideal setup because of all the clothing. It dampens your echoes. There's very little noise around that closet. So a lot of people actually do that. Today we don't have closets. We asked for tables, we don't have tables, but we have these beautiful, not sponsored Home Depot boxes that we will kind of help try to dampen some of the noise that's going on in this conference center. And so while you're in your small groups, you'll get a chance to kind of play with all this equipment. One is the mic. So you can very well take your phone and record, or your computer and record a high quality video. But these elements will really just give you that next level up. And so most of us have Blue Yeti mics, but there are other mics around that you can take a look at. Pop filters will really help when you're talking into that mic. You have a p or t sound that actually, when you record, is pretty prominent. So those pop filters will help with that. And then various lighting equipment as well. Next is the recording. So you want to develop a script. You don't want to seem like you're reading off of something, but you have to have a plan. As you start recording, there will be times that you stumble. But rather than say, and then continue with that sentence, you actually want to start at the beginning. So you will say, there are times that you will stumble, and then start over, because that will make your editing process much easier later on. It's a little bit odd when you're recording, because it's instead of what we're used to, talking to an audience and just kind of fluidity and continuing on with your thought process, you actually do want to pause, that you have an opportunity to then edit out what you just said. And last, most importantly, is to listen back. So now you've recorded this beautiful video. You really want to then critically analyze it. You're not really thinking about content anymore. Hopefully that was something you've done up front. But now you're thinking about what else is distracting about this video. Maybe I put some animations in, and actually it doesn't contribute to my teaching at all, and it's actually really distracting. Maybe, again, there's a dog behind you that you just didn't realize was sitting there. Maybe you want to edit that out. And so it's really important that you're listening back and saying, if I am exposed to this for the first time, am I going to be engaged? If you're recording more than 10 minutes, unless you're really engaging, that talk is probably too long. So really want to cut that down. Now we want to give you a little bit of opportunity to actually do some of this, right? So we're going to break out into sessions. There's 12 of you guys, and I will split you guys up in just a moment. But you'll talk about storyboarding, how to use media, and you'll actually get to play with some of the Camtasia recording software. We'll come back together and talk about publication. So here's your prompt. This is your task for this morning. In the next 30 minutes, you are going to be creating a 30-second video teaching the audience how you're going to spend 24 hours in New Orleans. We have a folder of multimedia here, but actually all of your facilitators have it available as well, so you don't have to worry about scanning this QR code, unless you just want some sweet videos of New Orleans. And then you should have a maximum of 5 slides, and we'll give you about 30 minutes, and we'll come back together and talk a little bit about that experience.